You know, I left my microphone off because I was so upset. The anger was flowing so smoothly and the points were badass and it's all gone. That's how upset this movie makes me. I can't even remember to turn on my microphone. Alright, let's get to the movie. Let me start over. Damn it! Wow! Bennett the Sage wasn't kidding. The Last Airbender is one of the worst movies I have seen all year. Terrible acting and laughable dialogue. There is no way that the cartoon is this bad. There's no way that a series this popular can be like this. I don't understand it. The cartoon cannot be this. I haven't seen the cartoon. And you know, this is sad because the trailer before the movie came out was pretty epic. It's pretty badass. You had like all these fire ships coming. It was like hundreds of them, thousands of them. And you have this one boy doing, you know, bending air and shit. And they were all coming for him. It was going to be this big epic battle.
And some will stop at nothing to destroy him.
Excited after seeing that trailer, and you know what? That's not even in the movie. That was independently produced just for the trailer. I want to see what happens in the rest of that trailer. That was the best part of the movie, and it wasn't even in the movie. Remake it like that, not this crap. It was as if there was always somebody just off screen who is explaining what just happened 5 minutes ago on screen. Oh, hey, look, the evil fire guy just stabbed a fish. That's the moon spirit, you know, from 5 minutes ago. You remember, right? Remember that? From 5 minutes ago? I'm telling you that The Last Airbender is worse than Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Oh no, look, it's the outcast prince, and he's about to fight. You know, the outcast prince who's maybe not really bad, but yet he's kind of good, but then bad. You know, from 5 minutes ago. At least in Transformers, I had fun and I watched badass effects. Which, okay, in this movie has one thing. It has all right effects and average fighting. But that can't carry the whole movie. Towards the end, the effects even start to fall apart. They're throwing around air, throwing blasts. You know what it reminds me of is, well, it's gonna remain unnamed, that unspeakable monstrosity of a movie. Is it worse than that? I don't know. No, maybe not, but there's no way the cartoon is this bad. A friend of mine who, and you may know him from the videos, his name is Jacob, some of my older videos, he swore up and down that the cartoon is better. It better be, because there is no way that this thing can be successful like that. I want an apology from this movie. You know, and another thing that pisses me off is this movie was in unnecessary 3D. Stop it! You know, I specifically chose a movie theater that didn't have 3D. I looked it up, went to the Alamo Drafthouse Theaters. Great theaters, by the way. I searched for one that didn't say in real 3D. And I found one, so I drove over there. We got in line, and as we're walking in, the guys take the big tub, and then I'm, oh shit, are you serious? They give me the lady gives me 3D glasses. I put it on, and it's like slimy, disgusting. There's crap all over the lenses. I'm like, who the fuck wore this? Like Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt wore my 3D glasses, and then I get them next. Great. So I get in the theater when I realize this. I walk back out. I say, you know, I really need, you couldn't see through this, and I wasn't about to touch any of it. And I was like, I need new 3D glasses. He's like, oh, there's some wipes in the cup holders in your seat. Just go ahead and wipe it off for us. And I was like, what? Bitch, you do that. Now, I didn't say that, but I was like, all right. So, and then, but there was no wipes. I didn't go back. So I literally turned 3 inches and I said, dude, I need new. She walks off, the bitch. Turned 3 inches. I'm like, hey, I need new glasses, dude. He's like, sure, here you go. Bam. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. Simple. Walk back out. But you know what? This movie doesn't need to be in 3D. You know, and I read it online. If the movie is not created for 3D, there's problems. It seems there's less fidelity. It seems more blurry, even with clean glasses. And my eyes are kind of bad anyway, and I just couldn't handle it. So I took off the glasses. I checked in certain scenes if I could tell a difference. I just took off the glasses, left them there. You know, my eyes are kind of bad. So yeah, I was blurry a little bit, but there were a lot of scenes that didn't have 3D like at all. It was so minute of a detail that the screen was so blurry that it actually focused because my vision's already blurry. Pointless. Just another way to get a shitload more money out of it. $25 for a ticket instead of $8, $14 or whatever it is. And now, and I go to my Twitter and I pretty much say all of this on Twitter. And you know what? Pretty much most of you want to see this movie because of how bad I said it was. No! Just no! Do whatever you have to do. Just no, don't spend money on this. So many more things deserve your money than this. Jason Valles says, is it worse than Batman and Robin on Twitter? And I said, you know what? Batman and Robin is actually kind of fun to watch because of how bad it is. But this doesn't have any of that quality. Worst child actors and deliveries ever. You know, and this thing even begins with Chapter 1. And Jacob said that there's enough to make 3 of these films. No, I don't want any more. I'm not gonna, no. I can't imagine any more of these things. I'm not gonna see any more. What are they gonna just do? Fight the fire guys again? After he just whooped their asses single-handedly? How is that interesting? Like, at all? I don't see how this series can work, not even in the cartoon, how there can be a conflict or some bad guys to fight this guy. And at the end was the most unabashed sequel setup I've ever seen. It was ridiculous. I'll talk about it later, but essentially he just boils down and he says, when the fire comet comes, we will be slightly more powerful. So the Avatar can lift a freaking ocean into the air and slam it into all of your fire shit. How are you gonna make fire if you need fire next to you to make it? Moron! I don't see how this cartoon works. Maybe it does. I mean, I know a lot of my friends love this series. I've never seen it. Defend this cartoon. Go defend. Write in the comments. There's no way. This movie was terrible. It's based on a terrible cartoon, apparently, because how could you fuck that up? You know, okay, so I've never seen the cartoon, but I saw this movie at the Alamo Drafthouse, and it's really cool because they play related clips to things in front of the movie, some goofy stuff. And in this one, they were actually playing an episode of the Airbender cartoon. And that shit was funny. It wasn't bad at all. It didn't look normal, though, like... They all had big heads and they were all like extremely cute. I don't know if they have 2 series, you know, one with this cutesy kind of Japanese style and then just the other normal cartoon. You know, and in this one everybody wanted to take the water girl to the dance and it was funny. Where was all the humor? The only time I laughed is when a water guy tackled a fire guy out of nowhere after they were looking up at a moon. And that wasn't even intended to be funny. And that's aside from all the times that I bursted out laughing at the dialogue. A 2-year-old could have wrote this movie better. In fact, I could have wrote this movie better, and I'm worse than the 2-year-old. If the on-screen actors pronounced all my misspellings in the actual script, the movie still would have been written better. That's how bad the dialogue is. And I know you really want to see it for that. No. 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 Don't. Don't spend money. 5 minutes of that cartoon had more jokes and made me laugh more than the entire 2 hours. It had more humor and more life. All of that was sucked out of the movie. Not there. Gone. And you don't even care about any of the characters either. Not even the Avatar. Holy fuck. Worst writing and movie I've seen in a long time. These actors were terrible. And that's another thing. Look at the series actors. Or look at the series characters. And look at the actors. And some of you are screaming, racism! Racism! No, I don't fucking buy that. You don't have to come up with an excuse to hate this movie. You can hate this movie because it's a terrible movie. And then we got Asif Mambi from The Daily Show, which, bless his heart, he was trying his heart out to act serious, but I kept thinking that all of his dialogue was delivered sarcastically and that there was a joke coming that never came. Now that's just my problem, and that's unfortunate he can't break that Daily Show persona. But I'm not just talking about him, I'm talking about everybody in the movie. I can't find one character that did a good job. The grandma, terrible. The Avatar, terrible. The little girl, annoying. And where was the love story? Where was the thing between those two? And then the dude that throws the boomerang, it was like the most annoying and ridiculous character ever. Like he's like, I will protect the princess. And the water princess, terrible. I will protect the princess. I will guard her. The most important job in this entire huge fucking North Water Kingdom. And they say, oh sure, let that dude that just walked in and we don't even know him, let him protect her. What? The only one that did all right, the Fire King, terrible. Fire King's daughter, terrible. The only one that did all right is maybe the prince, who's banished, and who else? Probably his uncle. Those were the only two good ones in the entire film. And it was just average as best. The cartoon is not that bad. I refuse to believe it. I'm gonna have to see these. I'll Netflix it. All right, let's get to your Twitter comments. Jazzy Thenotainment on Twitter. If you follow me, you'll see he says, don't tell me that, the series has 25 episodes a season to develop the plot. So the movie was essentially, as same as 3 episodes. So there. It's basically what you said. Well, that's not a fucking excuse, because that's not my problem. That's not our problem. In the movie, I didn't give a shit about any of the characters. Hell, not even the cutesy animals did I give a shit about. How do you mess that up? And what the fuck was that reject Falcor? Some kind of flying bison? You're telling me that this thing just disappears and reappears and people don't see this thing flying out, this huge thing flying, and every time it shows up on screen it's like, what? It comes out of nowhere. Thing is flying. Why don't people throw shit at it and attack it? I don't know. I'm sure that Falgor, ripoff is much better. Falcor is much better in the cartoon. Some of you are so passionate about defending this movie, like Dying Light on Twitter. She says she's willing to donate all the seasons of Avatar so I can watch it, and she's so sick that the movie was just shit. It is. What Drain10 Twitter says, what directors fail to recognize is that you can't make a movie out of a cartoon if you're just gonna retell its story and just. That's it. That's it. That is the reason why this movie sucks. It was as if M. Night Shyamalan just condensed the entire movie into like 2 hours. It took all of the shit in the series and all 25 episodes, was trying to give us exposition. Failed in that because he was just narrating what just happened 5 minutes ago, not what happened outside in all these other episodes. It was terrible. No, you needed to focus on making me care about these characters. Even if you have to arbitrarily make 3 movies into 6 movies. At least I would have wanted the next movie because I cared. Make a smaller, condensed story. Mr. Ben on Twitter says, Appa is not a reject Falgor. He's a sky bison with so much more personality, all thanks to his inability to talk. So there. Okay, you know, maybe you might be right about that. Maybe that Falgor reject ripoff is much better in the cartoon. It seems like a lot of you, Mink, Lala, or think that M. Night Shyamalan himself wrote the script. Are you serious? Like he took the writing and just made it all himself? What an epic fail. Okay, guys, that's all I have to say about this movie. It's time for the final verdict. Woo! Okay, so a lot of you hate me for my opinions on Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. You said that movie's bad. The Airbender is worse. Worse. No redeeming qualities in the Airbender. Is it worse than Dragon Ball, which I haven't rated this movie, but I really need to at least give it a number rating. I don't know. It's like asking to choose between shit and fucking more shit. I don't know. Both of them are beyond shit. They're shat. It's not shit, it's shat. It's a baby shat. Green baby shat. That's how bad these are. Okay, so the final verdict for The Last Airbender, it's gotta be a 1. It's 1 out of 10. This is my lowest rating for a movie that I have done an official video review for. 1 out of 10. That's it. I can't do any more. I can't talk any more about this film. I want to see what you have to say about it. Have you seen it? Please don't go see it. Now you want to see it because I've trashed it so thoroughly, and please don't waste your money. Oh God, what have I done? You're gonna go see this, aren't you? I know you are. Don't. No. Okay, that's it. I don't do movie reviews regularly because I pretty much like all movies, and I wanted to walk out of this one. So I'll see you guys on the next movie review, Angry Joe show. Last Airbender was terrible. It's fucking awful.